tiny bit late, but we did have a couple items that withdrew this evening. Item number 2, Pinky Square, 167, 171 Christie Street has withdrawn. Item number 4, IK Hospitality at 19 Ludlow has withdrawn. For 6, Allison St. Mark's Place, 110 St. Mark's has withdrawn. For 9, Mushik at 1 Street has withdrawn. Those items may come back at a later date. They're just not being heard tonight. So there's a lot of people here. I think you're all here for one item. We're going to have to try and be respectful. If someone else is speaking, don't speak, don't personal attack, no business attacks, no attack at all. And generally, since there are a lot of people, if you're all going to speak, we're going to maybe get back from 2 minutes to a 1 minute time because it might be forever. And I think that's generally the housekeeping items. We're going to go get it and get started. We have one item, number 5, which I think is going to be very quick. I'll give a summary of it, and then we're going to let the applicant speak. If you're here for number 5, please raise your hand or raise your Zoom hand, and we will promote you. For the applicants, 9500K, which is 19 Ludlow. So you're the applicants, correct? Okay. So, and the way the meeting is going to run, I'm going to give a brief summary of each item. We'll give the applicants a chance to add or correct anything, move to members of the public, committee vote, and then move on to the next item. So, this is okay. It is empty. Because police is on-premises license located at the front of 109 Love Street, meaning and Street. It's an application for an establishment of 29 tables, 119 seats, 2 stand-up bars, and 16 feet. Full kitchen and prep areas to food during all its operation. There are 37 premises licenses within 5 feet. This location was previously a restaurant. This app never been a license. Work experience, just not been in this area. There were 4 growing complaints applications in 2018. The applicant has received support from both the Dimes Court Block Association and the Lower East Side Dwellers. They signed an MOU with them. 96 residents live within 2 blocks of the area signed a petition in favor. The hours they're proposing is Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Thursday to Saturday, 11 a.m. No, that was adjusted, but this was just what you applied for. They'll have closed fixed facade. You'll have recorded music only. Black filtration coming in 3. Pub buses. Nope. Party bus. Oh, sorry about that. They will have a blank is whether you're having happy hours. We can get that next. No unlimited drink specials and no wait lines to ensure no loitering or crowds outside. Okay. So if you would like to go ahead and add anything you would like to add or change, say, by application.
Good. Okay, this is easier. So hello all, my name is Philip Dysart. I'm the co-founder of what we plan to call TINS. The other co-founder is my wife, Mercury. This idea began a few years ago when I was falling in love with my wife. And I asked her a simple question, which was, what's the thing she misses most about home? And she told me a story that when she goes back to Shanghai, she has someone pick her up at the airport. And on the way to the airport, she asked them to pick up this dumpling. And they meet her at the airport. And before she gets back home, she eats them in the car. So this told me that she likes this dumpling more than she likes her own bed. And so on my first trip to Shanghai, which is to ask her parents' permission for me to marry her, I tried this dumpling. And I was just incredibly blown away by it. If you've ever had a soup dumpling, imagine twice the soup and crunchy on one side. It's the platonic ideal of every type of dumpling you could have ever imagined, all wrapped in one. And in my great arrogance, when I left, I said, I can't wait to go find my favorite Shengjianbao, which is the type of dumpling in New York. Because I'm born and raised here. I'm born on 7th Street between 1st and 2nd. I live on Mott Street now. And I believe that nothing can't be found in the 5 boroughs. And it turns out, in this case, I was wrong. And so instead of a honeymoon for the last 4 months, my wife and I have been in Shanghai working in a dumpling shop, learning how to make this incredible food. And we think it's hugely underrepresented alongside with Shanghainese cuisine broadly. There's a lot of really interesting reasons why Shanghainese cuisine is underrepresented in New York. I won't bore you with them right now. I'll happily tell you if you want to come by Tins anytime. But it is worthy to shine a light on this idea. And we want to be a part of the community and serve the community really well. In 2022, I was the first person to ever win a Michelin award for cocktails in New York City. So this is an important part of what we want to do. We want to do a seated bar in the basement that is curative and autobiographical to my experience growing up in this community. And we want to be great neighbors. We want to be wonderful partners to you. And so we're here to listen, and we're here to thank you for your time.
We have so before we move on to the public, any members of the public committee have any quick questions about this? Okay.
That's a big space, 3 levels. How are you planning on differentiating the levels between each?
Sure, that's a great question. I think for 95% of all operators, this space is uniquely challenging because it's hard to tell a single story over 3 levels. The great thing is about this, we have a few different stories we want to tell. So we think that the ground floor should operate functionally as kind of like a cafe space. Yes, dumpling shops are commonly kind of fast casual vibes, but we think there's a greater utility in creating kind of a low stakes in and out cafe feeling that serves this throughout the day, because I think that open storefronts are good storefronts. And that in the bar, the downstairs, I think that natural light are the enemies of cocktail bars. So I think being in a basement, we can create a really curated. Right. So I think the second basement's a really interesting. So, okay, the metaphor for the place I'd like you to imagine is a relationship. Okay. The ground floor is where you have your first date. It's low stakes, where you meet someone, you can pop in, you can pop out. It's affordable, it's easy, it's accessible. The basement is where you have your second or third date, where you deepen the intimacy of your relationship. I don't think people really do business in cocktail bars, right? And so we want to have a space that feels curated and engaging, but honest and intimate. And then I want that basement space to feel like where you have your birthday party with 10 or 15 of your friends a year after. Right. So we want to create separate and distinct narratives, which I think the space uniquely lends itself to. As you know, that sub basement has these soaring ceilings where we think we can create kind of an immersive environment. The staircase really kind of frames it beautifully. We want to create that where the aesthetic is pretty heavily influenced by the Shanghai-born film director Wong Kar-wai. And if you've ever seen In the Mood for Love or any of his triptych of films, they are remarkably beautiful. And his most recent work is one of the most popular television series in China is about Shanghai in the 90s called Blossom. And it's an amazing, beautiful thing. And we think we can tell different versions of intimacy as he explores in his films through this aesthetic lens. Yeah, sorry.
Is there going to be a bar on each floor?
Yes. So the idea is to have the bar program will be idiosyncratic to each space, where you think the ground floor, we're going to focus on tea, coffee, kind of light spritzer ideas. Again, in that vein of kind of low consequence, easing and easy out. Downstairs is going to be a lot more technique forward. My collaborator, who's spent the last 3 years behind the bar at 11 Madison Park, and I are really working on a program which is very approachable, right? Like everything's got to be rooted in joy and kind of nostalgia. I think those are really powerful emotions.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but I mean, I love all the vibes, but I just want to get down to logistics. Is there going to be a DJ?
No DJs.
No DJs.
No DJs.
Okay.
No.
And sorry, what was the third question? No, lost me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. DJ bar in each door. Yeah, live music. No. Yeah.
Okay, we do have two speakers for this item. First, we have DM Boyd.
I've been established, but we wanted to let you know that we, after 2 weeks of working with both Mercury and Philip, we came to terms that we thought were agreeable. They show true willingness to listen to the problems of this area, particularly that space. And I think to answer your question, what they agreed to, because it's such a high impact, large capacity space, they agreed to limit the occupancy. So the way they're going to lay it out is on the ground floor, there'll be no more than 25 seats. On the basement floor, no more than 35 seats, and the sub basement, no more than 25 seats. Is that correct? So we agreed and signed an MOU on that. And on top of that, originally they did want live music and DJs. They did their research. They did outreach, talked to residents that live in the area. They realized that that is a no way that was going to happen in that space. It was a nightmare under Los Feliz. We all know what happened there. They removed all of those nightlife elements. No DJs, no live music, no scheduled or ticketed events, no security personnel, doormen or bouncers, seated service only, no standing room at any time. No, as you said, no participating with butt crawls and all that kind of stuff. So we, and the main thing that we had a problem was they wanted 2 a.m. We reached a compromise that they would start with 1:30 a.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday was our compromise. The residents in the building compromised with that as well. Close at midnight the other nights. And in a year, prove to be good neighbors, we can come back and talk again about a 2 a.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We think this is the best path forward. The other two applicants that came in that space were denied at the state level, but they wanted to create a nightclub similar to what Rob Shalman had there. We think and hope this will truly be a restaurant. We have a great thing happening in the neighborhood besides all the horrible things like Manhattan and DL. We have an Asian diaspora thing happening there food-wise. We have incredible Japanese ramen places. We have incredible Indonesian places. We have things happening there. We'd like to see that added value to the community. So we've supported this. We told them that we would send that MOU to the New York State Liquor Authority for the 500-foot hearing and give them a letter of support as well at that level. So thank you.
There's a place of assembly. What's the legal capacity?
It has two. That's something. I think it's like 220 or something, but
Okay,
space is not that. Yeah, no, again, it's good. That's. And then all the others.
right. Thank you.
Hey, my name's Dakota. I'm 22 years old. I'm a lifelong resident of 109 Ludlow Street. I live in a generational rent controlled apartment. So my mother and her family grew up there. They immigrated in the 70s. My mother recently moved out because of all of the liquor licenses and nightlife that's been occurring in the area. I was CC'd on the emails recently, so I looked over the MOU and I like what you guys are trying to do, but I have been very wary of allowing more liquor licenses because of the oversaturation. And, I come home Thursday, Friday night, and I hate going outside. My older brother also lives there. He says Thursday, Friday, Saturday, between the times of 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., he avoids going outside because of how crazy it is. So I would highly encourage you guys to be a lot more strict about giving liquor licenses out, especially in the area. Yeah, it's not a great place to live. A lot of the residents in the house or the apartment moved out that were there when I was younger because it has the quality of life has devolved so much. And also biggest fear of turning into a club with the liquor license is because even with the second, third floor soundproofing, I live on the 5th floor in the back of the building and our building still shakes. And still also shakes with Manhattan, the Bulgarian bar. Yeah, just wanted to raise that. Excited and hopeful for you guys, putting a lot of trust. But yeah, just bringing that to awareness with liquor licensing.
Hello? Did you call him? I didn't hear you call my name. I just saw that I was unmuted. I can't hear you, but I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking.
You hear me?
Um,
Sorry. We have to turn on and off speakers. This microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, and I'll go.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that my name's Daniel Tanow. I live up around the corner on Rivington Street. I was in a similar way, I mean, I know things have happened since, and I'll talk about it at the end, but Los Feliz tricked me when it first opened. I thought it was a great little Mexican restaurant. I didn't even know about the downstairs areas. And then a friend had a party on the lower level. That was still nice. I thought it was okay. But then with the bar, the Manhattan, whatever it's called, next door, and the lines, it was insane. So I am just glad and supportive that the dwellers were able to come up with and sign this MOU. So that this stays. It sounds like a great restaurant with good cocktails, and I hope it stays that way. Thank you.
Daniel? Okay, so I think we're ready to kind of move to the community discussion on this. It seems like, you know, they put community support both, and I don't think anyone was here from Times Square, but they did a letter in support as well. And we have residents in support. So I think, given that Stephen agreed to lower the hours, Stephen's like, and they've taken away the DJ, the live music, you know, so I feel like it's less of an impact than what the previous business was. And I think someone said it, I forget, it might have been DM, that might be the best case scenario of what we're looking at in this space. So that's my take. Does anyone have any comments or questions or?
I have the same feelings. It's, I don't think Health Square there's room for another nightclub in Health Square, and you know, this restaurant is going to bring value to the neighborhood.
And I think like, you know, on its face, it does look like it's like your basement, whatever, like you agree with the dweller, the neighbors, that's.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put the stipulations on the screen. And I think we do need to make a couple adjustments to the original stipulations based on changes. You agree to? Okay. Yeah. So Philip Dizard and Mercury in as qualified representative 94 Avenue A LLC located at 109 Ludlow Street. It will be a actually like full liquor, not done. Yeah, so it'll be a full liquor license, operate a full service Shanghai dumpling restaurant with kitchen open serving for operation. The hours of operation will be Sunday to Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Thursday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. They will not use outdoor space for commercial use. Your restaurant, you're not having doorman or security. And I know it's already been a space before. Are you installing any sound? You're doing any renovations?
Yeah, we're gonna do extensive. That's up. But you can, I've walked on drops, see anything that's up. Situation sounds like same time. That where the basement is, where the ground, where that basement is, with that actually, you know, we can really actually.
Okay, so I think we're just gonna say you install sound from doing further. Sound is not audible. And you'll have a closed fixed facade with open doors and windows. You will not have DJs, live music, third-party permanent events, any event which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. You will not have more than 10 to 20. I think the agreement with dwellers did say 15. So just the 15 for exact number. We on recorded background music only. We will not apply for an alteration without coming to CV3 first. We're not take a change in class. No, you're all here, so it doesn't matter. Not participating in performances, will not have unlimited drink specials. And then you hadn't checked off. Were you planning on a happy hour?
It's part of the reached out to the local public. Like, we wanted to. Jamie. From 9/7 to see if they can do it. Tomorrow with us. So. I'm.
Okay.
But in the. Maybe underserved. Demographic. But like.
Generally, we don't have a major issue with happy hours. It's not. Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, it's not worried about the girls. So I think if you want to say happy hours, and basically the way we treat it, happy hours, if you decide not to, you don't have to. So if you want to say that, just for your flexibility. So what time do you want to have happy hours until? So 7, okay, but we'll just say you may have happy hours till 7, and if you don't. For the public. Okay. And you will not have a wait line outside, that person responsible for ensuring no loitering or crowd. Okay, so these are the regulations that you'll be getting. To sign and notarize, you'll have instructions, like Joseph, he's your attorney, isn't he? So don't send him my thing, he will instruct you. Just, this is what we just went through the user. Be on. And then the phone number we had, Philip Dizard, and the phone number is 917-94848. 916. 916-4848. Okay. That being said, we'll move to Megan Joy. Yes, Michael Lavario. Okay. So it was approved as we just went through. Again, the office will be sending out the stipulations, but probably most likely to your attorney, and they will get. Okay, thank you. Well, mine. Yeah, they probably. No, when I do the minutes and listen to it, I can actually tell you, okay, here's the word.
Well, Wednesday night, we'll have another meeting to do it again.
Yeah.
We should do it. Item number 3?
Yep. Okay, so now I generally go. They can order, so we'll move to number 3. Fun. With 7th Street, I think is what the you are here.
Are you the applicant?
Susan, have it in her. You have the mic? Did you take the mic? Microphone. Okay, so I will give just a quick little summary, hand it over to you, Donald. Okay, oh, is my mic on? Okay, so yeah, that's fine. This is Roma LLC doing business as Elephant, and the 82nd Club Theater is seeking a full on-premises license and premises located at 7882 East 4th Street between Bowery and 2nd Avenue. It's an application for an establishment up to 310 people, 160 on the first floor, 150 in the cellar, 79 tables, 16 on the first floor, 63 in the cellar, 198 seats, 42 on the first floor, 132 in the cellar, 2 bars, with full kitchen serving food during all hours of operation, no televisions, a projection screen in the cellar, daily theatrical performances, movie screenings, live music and DJs played at entertainment level, theatrical system in the cellar with directional speakers, and music from small speakers on the first floor. There are 20 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location is currently operated as Elephant. It's a restaurant with full on-premises license, has been in operation since 2022. The applicant has owned and operated 3 bars and restaurants within CB3 from 2008 to 2018, all with liquor licenses, as well as currently serving as consultants for Elephant Cinema Village, which is 22 East 12th Street. The applicant has submitted 19 letters in support of this application. 296 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition in favor. They are proposing hours of operation, 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, opening 12 p.m. Monday through Friday, and closing by 4 a.m. all days. They will not use outdoor space for commercial use. They will have a doorman and security personnel. They will install soundproofing to ensure sound and noise are not audible in neighboring apartments. Close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. Will play live music and DJs at entertainment level, promoted events, scheduled performances, and events in which a cover fee will be charged. They will not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3. No party buses or pub crawls. Will not have unlimited drink specials. Will not have happy hours. Will designated employee for ensuring no loitering noise or crowds. Will post these stipulations by its license and will provide a number for residents to with any complaints.
Thank you, Clint.
Okay, so I'm
Can you
going to
hear me?
hand it over to Donald.
Thank you. My name's Donald Bernstein. I'm the attorney for the applicant. With me is Reginald Robeson. His partners, Lunas and Ron, should be on Zoom as well. This space that we're seeking to license now has a history both recently with licensing that's been before you and a history also that's going back nearly 100 years. So first, with respect to the more recent license history, this is actually the third time that you're being asked to approve basically the same operation, which is a full-service restaurant on the ground floor, which is small, under 74. I actually was there for the first time tonight. It's even smaller than I thought it was. And the lower level, which will be operated as the Club 82 Theater, which also is a historical name going back a number of decades. The first time in recent history that this came before you was in 2020. The current license holder is Ted Arto Inc., which has been operating as Elephant. You approved that in June of 2020 for the upstairs and the downstairs, the same spaces that we are applying for now. That applicant signed a stipulation with you with the 4 a.m. with downstairs as having theater, the restaurant upstairs, and that was agreed to by the applicant. That was approved, and the license was issued. Elephant is currently operating under that license. In 2022, 2 years later, the current applicant, Roma, was seeking to take over the space and came to you on, again, the same application, Elephant upstairs, theatrical performances downstairs, 4 a.m., the same program as you had approved in 2020, and you approved that. So we have two stipulations. Hopefully the third time is a charm and we can get through all of this. There were a lot of DOB and other issues and problems with the lower level space that impeded us from activating it all these years. If you want, I'm not getting into any more detail. If you have any questions, Ron is here. He can address what those are. As a result of that, it was never built out by Ted Arto, and it was never activated under, and Roma, when it was approved by you in 2022, never filed with the SLA because they knew they weren't going to be able to activate it. So there was no point filing with the SLA. They were not able to activate the lower level. They weren't going to be able to do it. So as you may know, when you send a notice to a community board, you must file with the State Liquor Authority within 270 days. Otherwise, you have to start over again. That's where we are. That's why we're back before you. Nothing has really changed since you approved this in 2022, other than the fact that the time has lapsed. We have to start over. So here we are now starting over. I just want to add a little bit of history. You may be familiar with it. This is really a storied building that goes back to at least 1929, when it was the Rainbow Inn. And by the way, the marquee used by the Rainbow Inn is going to be recreated by my client for that theater right down the block. It's been used as a speakeasy, a cabaret show, music venue from 1957 or 53. I can't read my own handwriting until 1973. And it was Club 82 or the Club 82. So we're bringing that name back for what Roma is going to operate now. The block is renowned for theater. You know better than I do. There's the New York Theater Workshop, the Crane, La Mama, Paradise Factory Theater. And we're going to continue in the tradition of the block, of the building, and of the prior two applications. Clint, you described the number of tables, the occupancy. I'm not going to go through that. There are going to be 3 different performance formats. When I'm done, Reg will speak to that, so you know exactly what kind of performances you can expect in the lower level. There will be 3 shows. The first one will be from 10:30 to 11:30. Patrons will have 30 minutes to leave after that show. They'll be out by midnight. The doors will then reopen at midnight for the second show, which is from 12:30 to 1:30. And then the last show will be from 2:30 to 3:30, and people will have 30 minutes to clear out of that space. As with the prior two other applications you approved, the first floor will be available for holding space to allow people to come in, not line up on the street, and be able to use the elephant space and then go downstairs to access the theater. We did a significant amount of outreach. There are a number of people here that I hope everybody signed in that can speak. There are a number of supporters for this application. We've submitted petitions with 314 signatures. I believe over 40 are from our building on 2nd and 4th Street. We've submitted, I count 20 letters, Clint, maybe there are 19 or 20. 3 of those are from residents in our building, Robin Petrie, Nathan Jarrett, and Tom Smith, who's lived there for 15 years. Then the last thing I just want to add before I turn it over to Reg is we also have Alan Firestone here from Acoustalog. He's done a very thorough acoustic report, which we sent to the office. I think there are about 3 pages of recommendations, about as many as I've ever seen. My client has agreed and will agree and stipulate to implement those. The cost of doing that soundproofing is very substantial. They're committed to doing that. They want to be good neighbors in this neighborhood. They don't want to have complaints. There have been a couple of issues last year sometime. I understand this year there have been no issues at all. I don't think any of the issues related to Elephant. But we want to make sure that we take care of this so that when we permanently activate the cellar, it's not going to be a problem. And with that, let me turn it over to Reg.
Hi, my name is Reginald Robson. I'm one of the owners and operators of Roma. And I just want to speak on the concept a little bit. I want to speak on my introduction, and then I want to speak about what our journey has been from 2021 to today. So essentially the concept is that this basement space will be a full production and presentation house, meaning that we will program our own work. I'm a director, theatre director. That's been my passion for the last 15 years. And we intend to make our own work. I have a production in development at the moment that I've been doing a reading for last week. And we have basically pre-engineered this space so that we're able to do 3 formats of shows. One of them is cabaret style seating, stage show with a seated audience. One of them is an amphitheater seating arrangement with our audience sitting around the outside looking into a sunken stage, which is called an in the round performance. And then the third is an immersive experience, meaning that we'll have a standing audience and the audience will move around the space with props and platforms that are on wheels. I made a show in 2022 called Hypnotique that was at the McKittrick Hotel that I also intend to program in the basement, which is the Club 82 Theatre. And I've had an incredible amount of learning since I arrived in New York in 2021. Before I came to New York, I was presented with this space that was named the Club 82. And it was like a dream beyond anything I'd ever seen. It had this incredible archive history attached to it. It was the first drag show in New York City. It had this wildly rich history from 1950s till today, being the first cabaret show, you know, celebrating the basically the queer community and this new art form that was emerging in New York City. And then it became various other iterations. It was a rock and roll venue, and it was a underground cinema, movie theater, and various other things. But the area that we're really, really committed to, that we want to revive and reimagine and do a contemporary version of, is the 1950s version, where there was a director named Kit Russell, and he would program shows at 10:30, 12:30, and 2:30 a.m. So from the beginning of our vision and our quest to make this thing happen, it was all based on that model, that method of operation. In the meantime, we've had extensive unexpected delays. It's been very, very, very challenging. We've been, you know, just trying to persevere and make this thing a reality. I believe that it's something that will be incredibly valuable to 4th Street. I believe that it will be a new theatrical entity to grow this existing theatre street and this block and everything that is represented in this block and the wider East Village. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the concept. That was the genesis of it, and that's where we're at now. We have had last year, we definitely had issues. We had some sound issues. Subsequently, we've changed the sound system we had on the ground floor. We've put in additional soundproofing, and I've also been much more hands-on operationally. I came as a creative person. I'm now much more hands-on as an operational person, taking much more like control of everything day to day. I'm on site much more. And through this year, I've gone through our entire building. I know there was particular people that were affected, and I have all the 311 calls. I've gone through when they were. I understand what they were. We haven't had a single 311 call this year, and I've built relationships with those individuals. Also, through the process of this application, I went round to speak to the neighbors, and I learned. I went in there timid and scared that we were like an enemy, and I learned that in fact we were actually hugely embraced. I've built over 10, 15 relationships with people. I've toured them, I've explained them the vision. They're all very invested, and they want it to exist. Like, I know that firsthand, I can say that for fact. And my understanding is that I've also built relationships with the people who may have taken issue with it happening, and we have solved their problems. I could speak much more, but I think I'll wrap it up there. So thanks for your time. I mean, I can.
Thank you. So, this business, I'm sorry to say, in the last several years since it's open, has probably taken more police time, community board time, and resident time. And we were told constantly that things would be fixed, things would happen, and it didn't. It's true for the last several months, there have not been complaints. I suspect it's because in preparation for this, it's not true that the downstairs wasn't activated. It just wasn't legally activated. We had the SLA there. There were programs there without DOP certificate of occupancy, a permit. It wasn't safe. They're constantly very conscious non-compliance. If people that live there are willing to accept them and accept that this is all changed, I certainly support them. But I'm going to say the history for years has been tremendous burden on both the community board, the police, and the residents. As far as the soundproofing, we did that years ago. I was there in people's bedrooms when we did all that soundproofing. And it was all the recommendations. I don't know why there's all these problems. And now the same sound engineer is going to give the same recommendations, and all of a sudden it's going to be fixed. It's a very old building. And we have to appreciate the fact that it's an old building. I also want to say there was a 4 a.m. bar there for many, many years. It was called Stillwater, no problems. So it's not that you can't operate as a good neighbor with the residents, because there were no problems there many years. I guess that's probably all I have to say, but we felt very frustrated because we're willing to work with people, and it literally took years. Well, I think Clint has to call on people.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll let Reg, when the time comes and you call him, to address the points, but I just want to respond to two things Susan said about it not legal. The certificate of occupancy says cellar, restaurant, cabaret, and storage for 100 people. So it is legally permitted to be used by DOB. And in terms of it being used for events, there was never alcohol down in the cellar. Which is permitted under the CBO.
My name is Al Firestein. I'm the acoustic consultant. I was involved. Susan actually contacted me a couple of years ago to let me know that someone had presented a report for another place another place on Second Avenue. And it's, she thought that it implied that I had done a consultation for that place. Actually, I traced it down and they had, the previous owners of that place, which later became my client, had sold it to the new people with the pretentious, with the promise that they had done soundproofing, and the soundproofing that they presented to them was what was shown to Susan. She contacted me because it had my watermark all over it. Turns out I had never did a consultation for them, and I traced the sections of the report that they presented back to this place, which was Ted Arto, that I had done recommendations for. Now, the recommendations that I made for that place were very extensive. They did not implement them. What I have seen and what I did the testing for was a space that actually has spring hangers already installed, no ceiling underneath it yet, but that's what they've been put in for. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. I did a test, and there is far too much noise going up from that basement space to the apartments. I was in 2H, I was in 2D, 2E, in the hallway, on the second floor, in the lobby downstairs. Oh, I'm sorry? The basement space, yes, for this place. And Reginald told me that he wanted to do whatever I recommended. Well, it turns out that yet again, the recommendations that I made were sort of, I don't want to say lifted, but were used by Reginald's architect, Ron Castellano, who was a client of mine. He used recommendations that I had done for another place, which was to put in spring isolation hangers. So they're in there. They're in the process of putting them in. And I have pictures of them in the 56-page report, which you have. You'll see tons of them all over the place. I spent a lot of money on them. They're putting in two drop ceilings. They have a concrete and stone wall around the outside perimeter of the basement. They're putting a new multi-layer sheetrock wall inside that. And they're actually going to have 2 rooms within a room, 2 rooms within a room, not just one, not just none. So it's pretty extensive. Now, the testing that I did showed that the sound level was way too high. So they have to do a combination of the soundproofing that I'm recommending, plus control of the sound system levels, as well as the directionality of the speakers that Reginald already mentioned, in order to comply. So that's the stipulations that I believe that.
You're saying that you made a lot of recommendations in its previous iteration or when they first came to us, they didn't implement all of them, which is understandable, expensive and very extensive and very. And then now they're coming back and being like, okay, obviously we did a half-assed job. It didn't work. And now we're going to go all the way with it. Is that the long and short of it?
No.
Okay.
Last place didn't do them.
Okay.
They didn't do them at all.
At all.
Because I was about to sue these people for appropriating a report to Ted Arto for another place on Second Avenue.
Okay.
101, 201 Second Avenue.
Okay. Yeah.
I was about to sue them for it, and I contacted various people, and finally I tracked down to the guy who's now in Alabama or Kentucky or somewhere, and he's claiming poverty. He said he was the ex-manager. He was the one who gave the report to the previous place, and he told me they did not do that soundproofing. They didn't do this.
Okay.
So now they're in the process of doing it. I'm just a consultant. Don't do that. I'm the consultant. So when I tell people you should do this, you should do this, I don't know if they're going to do it or not. These guys are already doing it. They're doing it by putting in spring isolators that have the same exact design that I have recommended for other places that Ron Castellano, their architect, has put in for jobs I did with him. So he's basically taken my report, gone back in time with a time travel machine and started to put them in using my recommendation. But fortunately, they've hired me for this to okay it. So they're in there. If they finish doing what they're doing, which I think they will, because the biggest part of it is actually putting in all these springs, then it should be good. Long story, sorry.
Thank you, Al. I think for now, we're going to go ahead and move 2 members of the public, or did you had some?
No, the mic had to be.
Okay, so we're gonna move to members of the public now. We'll do the one person first. Yeah. So we're gonna give you 1 minute each. So if you can just kind of summarize your comments, because I think we're probably gonna end up hearing a lot of the same thing. We're gonna start with Ben Goldstein.
And I'll raise my hand when it goes. Okay, just given the volume, we were here, we gave everyone 2 minutes each, just be happy.
Is it already on? Okay, cool. I am Ben Goldstein, longtime resident of East Fourth Street, part of Cooper Square Mutual Housing. And I'm in the music business. I manage some pretty prominent rock and roll musicians, including Julian Casablancas of the Strokes, who's a very big East Village icon. And I've known Reggie and Lunez really since Elephant opened. And I was hesitant at first, just as a neighbor, about like, oh, a place is going to be opening. What's the vibe going to be? And they've been very wonderful neighbors and members of the community in all ways, from just being neighborly to being respectful to just also bringing a lot of great culture to the street and adding to the rich history of the street. And oops, that time. Oh, and I think that them doing what they're trying to do will only add to create more wonderful cultural value of the arts on the street.
Hi there. I'm Jim Nicola. I'm the former artistic director of New York Theater Workshop for 34 years. I've also been most of my life, majority of my life, I've lived in this neighborhood within blocks. I came here as a little gay boy in 1972 to this neighborhood because it allowed me to be. And what I see what Reg is doing here is allowing that history to continue and to reinvent itself in a most important way. Especially in the climate we're living in nationally, it's so important for this kind of energy to be respected, and not just respected, but given room to thrive. That's all I have to say.
Hi, Adam Friedberg, a resident of 65 Second. I live on the second floor right above them. Everything seems wonderful, except when you look at the history going up until the end of last year, starting the night before they first opened in 2022, they had a blowout party. They promised it would never happen again. It just kept on happening. I have 4 pages of 311 calls here, all not ones that didn't get taken. These are all took action. It ended up in the end of 2024 with summonses. I don't know how many summonses. We had 3 meetings with Susan. We had promises from them. Very charming people. Reginald, very charming. They broke every promise to us from day one. Has it been fine this year? So far this year, it's been fine. Reginald's made some changes, but they've had parties over and over and over again. Speakers bigger than me. DJs, 100 decibels, smoke machine in an unfinished basement with a gas leak. Not once, 25 times at least in 2 years. So we'd like for them to keep their.
Hi, Hardin. My name is Aviv Sharf. I'm also a resident of 65 Second Avenue, just above the restaurant. First, it was opened as a restaurant with supposed to be ambient music and theater area, and it turned up to be really a party space until the small hours of the night. We had, just as Adam and Susan mentioned, numerous 311 calls. Many took action, like about 50, about 5 got summons. This last stipulation also said there could be no sound of vibrations. There were sound of vibrations, as well as no lines in the street. There were always lines in the street and people screaming and shouting. And we had 3 meetings here. Every time there were a lot of promises made, but we never had anything. done. As mentioned, this year, I don't know, there's no problems, but actually one of the people that will talk on Zoom will also elaborate that they still hear some noise also in their apartment. Thank you.
Lee? Mickey, Lee? Mikey? Okay. Okay, next we have Dan Ostlender. Dan, okay. Next we have Cooper Cheatham. Cheatham?
Hello, I am Cooper Cheatham. I am a resident of 54 East 4th Street, right across the street of 16 years now. I've seen the block change. I've seen Clearwater come and go. I've also experienced other establishments on this block and the chaos that that brings with drunken college students, drunken interns, whatever it might be. Whereas on the other end of the block, I can't say that I've experienced what y'all have, but anytime there has been any organizing, any sort of festivities, it's been quiet. It's been people coming and going. It has been a complete polar opposite to what I see and what I experience outside my window, broken bottles, fights, etc. Where sometimes I feel unsafe going down on that end of the block, especially as a gay man and understanding what the injection of queer culture and the injection of gay culture back in the East Village is super, super, super important because it used to be a thriving queer community and a lot of our gay and queer spaces have been shut out. So I'm excited for what the future holds and what that can mean for our block. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time. I'll keep this incredibly tight to give some time back to the community, but I live 99 East 4th Street. I've been here for just over 6 years. And there's been a lot of talk about exactly what Reg is trying to do. And I think it's incredibly inspiring and very much visionary for what this neighborhood could be. The biggest thing that I've actually learned is I lived across from the Boiler Room for a while. That was my entrance to New York, and it'd be a Sunday night at 10 p.m. and there'd be music blasting. And so I had really meaningful concerns. And so my cousin actually introduced me to Reg. I got to spend some time with him, immediately addressed this. I said, I really can't be a part of this if this is something that's going to continue. And what he has done repeatedly is proved to me that he has a commitment to make this a community effort, to be a partner of the people in this community. I think that's probably clearly apparent in what the progress has been for so far this year. I think that'll continue. I'm take the man at his word and looking forward to really what he's going to build. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Joe E. Jeffries, and I'm a drag historian. I teach LGBTQ plus studies courses at New York University and the New School. I'm here this evening to advocate for and fully support the 82 Club Theater's application for a 4 a.m. liquor license. The basement street just down the street from here at 82 East 4th Street has a long, proud, and rich history as an entertainment venue. In fact, since the larger building's construction in 1926, the basement has enjoyed a near constant chain of hospitality and cabaret ventures, from the early Rainbow Inn to the universally known 82 Club that presented lavish female impersonation shows there from 1953 to the mid-1970s. In fact, the basement's new iteration plans to harken back to the original 82 Club's drag-infused shows and offer 3 shows a night, 10:30, 12:30, and 2:30. I personally know the principals at the new 82 Club Theater. Each brings special talents and solid experience to the venture, from hospitality and theater management to cabaret production. I attest to their strong desire to considerately serve the neighborhood and be a responsible and vital part of the 4th Street community. They have tirelessly pursued reopening the basement space as a premier and orderly venue for many years now, and only a 4 a.m. license can cement these dreams. I urge you to approve a late license for the 82 Club Theater so that the fabled NYC space thrives again and spirits keep flowing in the basement long past its fast approaching 100th anniversary. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hi, my name is Meredith McNair. I'm here to express my support for the new space below Elephant. I live on the third floor of the building at 65 Second Avenue. And I personally have never heard any noise from the restaurant. And I would be very excited to see our basement transformed back into a glamorous performance space like it once was. I'm very impressed with the vision for the new space, and I appreciate that the team has plans for very thorough soundproofing, which of course is crucial. And given this, I support the proposal and look forward to attending events in Club 82. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Patricia McGregor. I am the current artistic director of New York Theater Workshop. And I think there are several bridges between Jim and I, and one of them is the absolute support of this piece, partly because it takes the history of this area and the history of a performance venue, and also really wonderful collaborator that we've both found in Reg. We've developed a lot of work at the workshop for the shows that are going to be done in the basement. So that just speaks to the authenticity of the theatrical collaboration. We also, when I went down to the basement, being a theater and performance venue lover, I said, "Oh my God, it's perfect the way it is. Just leave it just like that." And he said, "Absolutely not. I agree. I love it, but we are going to do all of this renovation to make sure that the soundproofing, so that we can be good neighbors." Speaking about good neighbors, they have been absolute good neighbors. Anything we've asked for, from like a cup of sugar to dreaming big dreams to showing up for each other, I can attest to that's been the case. So it is with absolute support that we hope and will help any possibility for this venue to reaching its full potential.
Hi, I'm Josh Luxembourg. I currently work with Patricia at New York Theater Workshop, but for 10 years, I was the director of the Connolly Theater down the street on East 4th Street. And as some of you in this room may know, the Connolly was shut down last fall because the Catholic Church, our landlord, did not want us to do a show, a New York Theater Workshop show that involved a trans person. The first show that I programmed in that space was a trilogy of drag shows by the artist Lipsinka, who came up in the East Village. We are losing spaces for theater, we are losing spaces for queer work. And we are seeing a city that is being transformed into something that is homogenous and looks like every other place in the world. That is not the New York that I came for. And that is not the New York that I want to live in. So I have gotten to know Reg over the last couple of months. And one of the things that I think I'm heartened by after hearing all of these stories is that his taking on an operations role and not just an artistic role has led to the changes that everybody has observed with the diminished complaints. I'm speaking in full support of this venue. I cannot wait to see the work that is performed there. And I hope that everyone will support it as well.
Hi, everyone. My name's Ben Krasnowski. I live directly across the street from Reg and Elephant. I just wanted to take a second to attest to the character of the entire staff there, from Reg to Lunas to David over there. It's truly a great establishment. I met Reg on the side of the street. He gave me a warm welcome to the neighborhood, brought me in, fed me, made sure I had a good time, asked me exactly what I want to do, what I need to do, gave me the best advice, recommendations. And I've had no problems with them. I live directly across the street, so KGB bar is a little bit loud at night. I've never, ever had an experience like that outside of Elephant, so I'm in full support of this.
Have G or Bach?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can, Richard, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I live on the second floor, right over the establishment. As Susan has indicated, it's been very difficult for the last 3, 4, 5 years since they started renovations. And I will say that I wish Luna and Reg good luck. If I weren't living right over the place, I would support them fully. But I have to ask that we have stipulations for no sound and no vibration as we had for the past 4 years. Otherwise, we have no recourse. And also, I want to know how they're going to manage people coming in till 4 in the morning during the week when you have to sleep. My bedroom's right over the entrance to Club 82. And how are they going to manage that? We need some stipulations, and I hope that you will add them to the license. Thank you.
Next, we have Alan Marco. No.
Can you hear me now? Yes? Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. Live in 65 Second Ave. I work in the hospitality, nightlife, and food and beverage space for the last 10 years for one of the most iconic club creators in New York. After hearing both Reg and his partner's vision, I'm very excited for them and in full support of this. Excited to what they're going to bring and create and visit the space once it opens.
Thank you. Next we have Vicky Bynum, sorry. Mickey, you can unmute yourself and speak, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, hi, I'm so sorry. I was there earlier. I had to run to a prior engagement, but I wanted to tune in because this is very important to me. My name is Mickey Lee. I'm an artist who lives here in the neighborhood. I've been here, I live on East 5th Street and 2nd Avenue. I've been here for 3 years, my partner for 5. I want to voice my enthusiastic support for Elephant and their plans to open this theater space in the basement, which frankly sounds like a dream come true, and exactly the kind of thing that the East Village thrives on. Elephant is already a cultural hub. I've taken meetings there personally to plan my own exhibitions with other gallery friends. I've seen friends' art on the walls, attended their after show celebrations at Elephant. I've been in the presence of acclaimed artists who are in real time making their place in the timeline of art history. All that to say, it's a space that's already deeply interwoven within the artistic life of the neighborhood. East Village has always been a home for artists, messy ones, brilliant ones, broke ones, famous ones. We're in a moment where that legacy could either fade into real estate brochures or actually evolve into something alive. On my block, there's the opening, there was the opening. Sorry?
If you can start wrapping up your minute timer
Yeah,
went off. I don't know if you
sure.
heard that.
On my block, there's an art gallery space. Boz Lerman recently opened his. Elephant's proposed theater fits beautifully into that trajectory. I say let's keep spaces like that thriving. Thank you so much.
So there's someone on Zoom, hand up raised, AA.
Yes, hello. My name is Arthur Carpati. I'm a theatrical producer. I run a company called Immersive. I was the proprietor of the McKittrick Hotel. And I can attest to working with Reg on a regular basis, creating theater, creating productions. He's a dedicated person to bringing Club 82 to life, which is integral to the survival of performing arts in the East Village. And so I fully support Reginald and his endeavors. I'm also a resident on Christie Street and know what nightlife brings to a block and to a neighborhood. But I believe this theatrical enterprise will be different and really be a destination for the performing arts. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
It for on Zoom. We do have a few other people that have handed in speaker forms, so we will go back to them. It's is it Kelsey Costello?
Hi, thank you for your time. I've lived in this neighborhood for 9 years, and known the team for a very long time. And I've just seen how hard they've worked to make this vision come to life, and how like much they think about their neighbors on a day-to-day basis. So I just, yeah, I really wanted to share that. And I sorry, I hate public speaking, so you can tell I really do care. But I fully support this license. I think light night entertainment would be great for the neighborhood. And yeah, I hope this happens. Thank you.
Next, we have Jack Benedict.
Hi, I'm Jack Bendick. I've been living in a neighborhood on 4th and 2nd above the dry cleaner for 2 years now. New York City native, but came from the Upper East Side to the East Village. A lot more culture down here. And I've known Reg for a couple months now, and I think it's a really great space. I think there's a lot of bars in East Village that are kind of the cookie cutter exact same, and this feels like a place that's bringing a lot of history back to the area, and I definitely support it and think it'll be a great time.
Okay, next we have Felix, is it Schleiman?
Hi, everyone. Felix, I'm a resident of 65 2nd Avenue. In full support of Elefun and all they're doing. Think that the venue has been great for the neighborhood, and honestly think this addition to the venue is what makes New York a really special place and what makes us all want to live in this neighborhood. So in full support, and can't say better things about the team and how welcome they've been to all of us. So thanks.
Okay, and one last, it's Oliver, is it Fair?
Hi, Oliver. I'm a resident of 65 2nd Avenue. I live on the 4th floor, kind of right above Elefun. My bedroom window is right on 4th Street, above the street. And I can say Ludus and Reg have been really great neighbors, and I've really enjoyed them being in the neighborhood. I think I have a decent amount of problems with some of the bars across the street on 4th Ave, and a lot of noise coming from those places like KGB Bar and others. But Elefun, I really have not had any problems with, and they've been very amenable to any kind of issues that have come up. And so in full support of their vision. And I think one of the reasons I moved to the East Village was for projects like this. Really great art projects and theaters like this are what make the East Village special. And one of the reasons why I want to live in the East Village and why I do live here. So yeah, in full support and really enjoy and looking forward to it hopefully coming to fruition. Thank you.
Okay, and then we have Susan Dalton. Can you pass, Susan, can you pass the mic?
So stay there, stay there. I'm good at stuff. My name is Susan Dalton. Am I loud enough? Oh, okay. I live at 69 East 4th Street. I'm a New Yorker, born in a cab on the 59th Street Bridge during the beginning of the Second World War. I'm going to be 83 in August. I'm hurrying because I have a minute. I have lived in this neighborhood since I've been in this neighborhood since 1960. In 62, I was in this neighborhood permanently, and I've been on this block since 1970. I've seen it come, I've seen it go. The word that kept coming to my mind was due diligence, and also mine, because I have come from a supermarket that's on the same side as Elefun, and I would cross to my side, which is on this side, and I stopped doing that because of the noise coming from the KGB club
and sometimes the theater. And everything is sheetrocked on this block, so that kept bounces sound like crazy. I have gone into Elephant when it was really noisy, when somebody had been called to come. I've talked to one of the cops at the station. I'm friendly. And he said, oh, he told me what he did. And I said, oh, what about Elephant? And we talked about it. The point is, I've gone into Elephant and it's not outrageous. And there aren't people hanging outside. And how do you control people outside if they've left and they've left okay? It's doesn't matter. The point is that I'm appalled at the fact that KGB Club still has a license because there are crowds of people out there. And yet, do I see any cops going in? I mean, what can I say? And my apartment is on the street. However, there's one thing that's important to know, and somebody else brought it up, is that it's a venue that will allow a lot of people to perform, because what wasn't mentioned was that after it was a gay parade, as it were, it became a rock and roll club years later because CBGB's got too busy. And all of the small bands. I remember Debbie Harry when she wasn't famous. That's the point, is that it's an opening for people to perform, to make the neighborhood what it used to be instead of being unaffordable. I could say more, but I'm not going to.
Okay. So I think that's everyone. Oh, sorry, you did. Did you submit the form too? Actually, you can go ahead and speak.
So I live across the road, 91 East 4th Street, and I just want to say, I think it speaks volumes on all people from all different backgrounds, ages, coming here and speaking on behalf of both Reggie and Lunas, and then Elephant as a whole. I think it's going to be a massive opportunity missed if this does not get passed, and that this is not an addition to the community, and is not going to be here as a staple to East 4th Street, because I really think it's a truly sensational vision. It's got a fantastic team behind it, and I think it will be sensational for the street.
Hi, my name is Jason Tome. I am directly across the street at 54 East 4th Street, and I've been here for 20 years. I work for Converse. My job is connecting Converse to artists in music, art, and fashion. And I also am gay and have been in this neighborhood as a part of the nightlife scene at one point. And this is a really welcome addition because I remember the history of this neighborhood 20 years ago. I wish I had the history that she had going all the way back. But I think that when I moved to this neighborhood, it was very lively and had all of the elements of the music, art, and fashion, what I work in right now. And I'd like to see that return. I really love the vision that I've seen from these guys. And when they met me, I was introduced to them by some very prominent people in the world of arts. And they immediately invited me in, have been really curious about what I was interested in for the neighborhood. So I really think they're a welcome addition.
Thank you. Okay. Kind of concludes our public and yes, we'll give the applicant a chance to respond to anything they heard. Or I don't know if there is anything you want to respond to or.
Thank you. So first of all, just thank you for everyone that's taken the time to come here today. It's quite clear, I would say, that there's an abundance of support for this project. It touches people on many different levels. I don't think I need to try and explain that anymore. I'm one of those people. I've dedicated my life to this thing. I want to speak on your point, Susan. And as the people are all here present, Aviv, Adam, and Regine, I'm going to name them. And it is the main thing is that this thing is going to give hundreds of people employment, from artists, hospitality to servers. Is going to, I believe, enrich thousands of people's lives. And my true bona fide understanding is that 3 individuals are affected by it, and we need to solve that thing. My understanding is also that this year it has been solved, that you have not been disturbed this year. And long may that infinitely continue. That is our commitment to you. And to the point, Susan, that you brought up is I've diligently gone through what the last 2 years have been like. Again, like I didn't come from an operations background. I came from a creative background. I now am responsible for this venue. I agree. There was a time when it went on. I can't speak on the Stillwater thing, but when we arrived, I was told that this was going to be difficult because there had been problems with sound from this venue. Beyond that, you know, I basically through going through all the 311 calls and as it pertains to downstairs, it seems to me that all of these issues were from events that we had had. What we've done subsequently is we've continued to operate under our 4 a.m. on the ground level. We have removed the subwoofers that we had and we've moved the speakers and we've installed more soundproofing. The problems have been solved. And I can pretty much say that wholeheartedly. The downstairs, there was a number of times when we used it as a location. Yes, because people wanted to use a raw space. They wanted to either film things. They wanted to either do music listenings and stuff like that. We have stopped doing those things. We are not doing anything until that place is completely insulated the way under Alan's supervision. And that's where we're at. I can say these things with full openness, and that's where we are. My understanding is, yes, we're accountable for what has gone on, and we also would like to invite people to also talk about the fact that since December of last year, we have been operating under a 4 a.m. The problems have been solved, and I think that deserves as much airtime as what had gone on personally. So thank you for your time.
First of all, I want to thank you. I really appreciate you acknowledging what we went through for the few years. And when I say there was an event in the basement, I know what I'm talking about. It was under a permit for construction. So all that happened. I remember when this first came to the community board, we were actually met on Fifth Street between A and B, and I heard everything, and I thought this was going to be the most amazing place because my response was the same as everybody else's in this room. We do acknowledge that this year there has not been problems. We've even been in touch because like all of a sudden after a couple of years, you know, it just totally stopped. So it means that you can do it. It's possible. I just want to know, so I'm going to say we spent so much time and we were lied to. We were absolutely lied to, and the police were disgusted because they also believed everything. So it sounds like even the residents that were impacted are willing to support you based on what's happening now. I just want some kind of assurance that we don't go through what we went through before. Because we went through the whole, you know, like I took my own time to go into people's bedrooms for the sound testing. And then it turned out it wasn't implemented. So I just want some kind of assurance that if there are problems, there will be some problems. The issue is how do you respond to them? And I just want some kind of assurance that we're going to continue as we have been this year and not like the last several years. But I do appreciate you acknowledging.
Okay. Guess we will move to committee member question. Comments.
What are you doing for the sound system? Yeah. Will you have woofers on there? Yeah. I was in the police a few weeks ago, I saw Congress and I did see all the isolation clips. I saw, you know, they are putting quite a lot of money in their sound. And I saw that firsthand. Also, something I want to comment here is that, you know, they are what they say they're going to do, and it's going to bring a lot of art to this neighborhood. You know, I think we should stipulate it, where the fact that like, I hope nothing happens to your business, but if something does, and get handed over to somebody's going to do like an EDM.
So I'll have like soundproof, like already set up, and they have come before us anyway in the next application anyway. But is there something that we have like, you know, I mean, I think like Al is probably the best in the business. Also not cheap. Is there anything? That's why, sorry, Al. But I mean, you're really good. But is there anything that you like, you signed up and said like, yes, we will absolutely use them? Like what's gonna keep from like halfway there? Oh my gosh, we can't.
Understood. So Alan's been engaged. He's been engaged to do this first proposal, and then I don't know how we would prove this to you, but what we now want to do. Look, we want to be able to run this thing. We want it to survive, right? We want it to run it. We want to. Our priority is be able to operate this space with entertainment level music and be able to do really versatile productions late at night. Our second priority is to survive, or our first priority is to not affect only to benefit people's quality of life. That is truly all we've come here to do. And how we do that, we're willing to go through. It's like, I can prove it to you because we want to stay open, I guess, is all I would say.
I know, but you could have another sound engineer come by and be like, hey, I could do it for half the price, like.
No, including the stipulations that we will implement and work with Alan Firestein to implement his sound recommendations.
Okay, they're gonna sign up.
They're gonna see-
Yeah,
Okay.
sign on.
All right, done.
So can I say that's one thing that'll be different because clearly you didn't sign off. Sign off that everything's independent. You put a big sharp. I'm serious, that is a big difference.
Yeah.
And
I mean, clearly everyone is very supportive of the cultural, you know, significance. Of the culture without the community impact.
When we say community impact, what we're talking about, I would consider the community impact so positive and
Yeah.
some individuals' lives that were affected negatively.
Right, I mean, without let's have the positive community impact without the negative.
Without any
Yeah.
negative, yes, that is our mission.
I was at that. I
Yeah.
spent hours.
But fair enough, but
And I tried.
But Susan, I would also just like to state as well, there was a time when police were turning up regularly. They would come, they would look, they would say, I don't know why we've been called, and they would leave. I was there for that multiple times. I'm not saying that every single time there was no noise going on. But what does took action actually mean in? Right. Yes. Okay, fair enough. I didn't moved up 2 people. I meant the 3 people that are here today speaking about it, and my commitment person solved their problem. I understand that your life is also impacted by this thing, but and I'm not trying to undermine. I want to take full responsibility for it, solve it, and keep it solved as it is. But I would also just like to point out, just for full transparency from my side, this year, for example, I've had 2 messages from Regine because I built trust with her. I believe that she hasn't felt the need to call 311, right? One of them was when we were closed, and she said, she texted me, Reg, I can hear vibrations from your restaurant, and we were closed. It was a Monday. And then the other one was when David was there. The restaurant was so quiet, and then he had gone. I texted him after Regine texted me. He said, I'm on the tube on the way home. I said, Regine, this vibration doesn't come across. No, I'm not trying to just. Yeah. Yeah, saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if I can just, I think Reg has acknowledged there have been some issues. We all know that. He's not trying to disclaim responsibility, accepts responsibility. Susan, the neighbors say it's clearly better. Susan said a few minutes ago, he's demonstrated that he can make a difference. So that's where we are. So going forward, to answer your question, you lock us in the stipulation, we're required to do it. We're required to hire out. We have already, and we're required to implement his recommendations, and that's your protection.
Just to add again, going forward, not back, regardless of the hundreds of 311s, let's move forward. What I want to say, there was the one we submitted, the 50, there's just a part of almost 150, 100. So took actions and 5 with fines. So it's definitely was affecting a lot of people. But what I want to ask is that the stipulation includes not only the soundproofing, but that there's no sound or vibration felt in the apartment. That's basically what's important for us.
Just to add, when they say the police came and did nothing, most of the time with the police that would come and they would leave, they don't know that they're not going to a nightclub. They don't know the stipulations that they're under. So they drive by, they look in there, they also have blackout curtains that they would pull. They look and they say, well, there's nothing going on in there because it's black. They don't, they don't get out of the car. A lot of times that would happen. Or we get a 311, it would close 30 seconds later. Nothing found because they're busy or whatever. There's a lot of different things that happen.
We understand that a lot of them are taking action, but I understand also from business owners, sometimes they come by and there's nothing and, but yeah, moving forward. So how are you going? Yeah.
What I was just gonna say, I just wanted to add, you did say that this past year, there's been a problem, but everyone's it's better. However, you've also said you haven't been having any events in space, the downstairs space. So that obviously is an improvement and really helped. I think what you need to do when you do start having events in the space, yes, Al's recommendations, you're going to sign off, he's going to sign off that they were installed. What my fear is, because other situations, it's not the exact same thing, but a situation where some of these old buildings can't be soundproofed to the point where it's not in residence. What are we going to do at that point? If you implement all of Al's recommendations, they're still having sound and vibrations in their apartment. Are you going to then lower your music, lower your performance where it's not disturbing neighbors? Okay. So that's my concern, is just because we have had other spaces, similar situations with these old buildings, sound travel extremely strangely, and people on another side of the building, that's, if you're willing to commit to that, and Al is acknowledging that, that's the thing, we want it. I don't think anyone in the public or on has any issue, and we're fully supportive of the idea, but part of our ability is to try and balance great ideas and the community benefit negative impacts that, you know, it. So that's what we're achieving.
Honestly, so much about with soundproofing, it's just how much money you spend. I mean, you could literally build a side of have it basically floating within the original walls, and that. Yeah, I mean, and it costs a ton of money, but it's really, really effective.
And I saw it with my own eyes. You know, in my experience, you know, you could soundproof, you know, a room. So you're like $1 million into a room, soundproofing it, do a room within a room within a room within a room. And, you know, sometimes it's that subwoofer is the one that travels up. Maybe, I don't know if Al, you have any comment on that, but, you know, if that is an issue and the subs are an issue, would you remove them? Um, somebody said that there's cops that don't know the stipulations, and that's very true. I haven't had this happen to myself personally, but I've heard of cops going into bars and saying the first thing they ask for is, let's see your steps.
Very few bars that I've ever walked into, like, offhand, but. Anyways. Bling. Thank you. Mike, do you have any?
Yeah, like, I didn't really see it on the application, like you plan, you know, Eric Powers.
The arrival, this will be on Second Avenue, and then there's performers or management that would bring people round to the door. The structure and format of our shows, this thing that we're really committed to doing, this Kit Russell 10:30, 12:30, 2:30 thing, we're gonna have 40 like an hour shows and after each show, right? Meaning guest now, right? They're gonna have a waiting room on the ground level. It's
the issue is in this, for instance, I don't think anyone has an issue with the program like this here. It's just what you want to do could potentially have a very large negative impact, not only on the people in the building, that as well. You're having set times, and if you're doing that's great. But you know, having 3 consecutive seatings where we're going to be leaving, coupled with the we heard about KGB and the club across the street and everything else. So all of that could turn that into just a little bit of shit show at that end of the street. That's what we want to try to prevent is, you know, whether you're having the people being dropped on Second Avenue, and I'm sure you would have your staff on Second Avenue, and they would then bring people over time to come in, or I've been in shoot. Yeah.
Upstairs as well, you know, so that there is the whole thing that we wanted to do is build something where people can come and eat and see a show. They can come and see a show, hang out afterwards. They can just come and have dinner. They can just come and have like many different arrangements for many different wants and needs.
So you're not going to have people lining up for the 10:30, 12:30.
No, I don't. I mean, I've heard in conversation, I went to a meeting that everyone was present at, and there was an operator saying, I'm being accused of having lines, when actually there is a group of 15 people whose IDs are being there. So it was just like that was like a valuable detail to explore, right? But no, we don't intend to have stanchions and queues and that stuff. We want it to all be fluid and flowing and staggered.
And that's what the point of the upstairs restaurant.
That is the point.
That's going to be your holding area,
correct,
as people come in. So you're not going to have a line outside.
Correct.
Okay, you can have one statement, but we have to move on from all the public comment. So this is it after you.
No, I'm just saying, this all sounds familiar because these 2 items were exactly discussed multiple times in the last liquor license, that there's not going to be lines outside, and that the area, the first floor, will be a waiting area and ambient music, and it turned out just to be
I was
a
on the
party.
committee at that time, so I went through that conversation.
And all I'm saying is the same promises were made. I really hope, again, I'm not opposing, I really hope that it's going to be different this time, but we need to cement it in stipulation that said there's going to be no noise or vibration in the apartments.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so I've been with these guys pretty much since December, and we worked. I mean, I'm from the hospitality industry, worked in hotel, nightclubs, worked in Europe, United States for about like altogether 20 years. I'm the boring guy in the room. I'm not don't have any fun stories. But what we do have is we put in place a lot of standard operating procedures that we do enforce, that I do enforce. I'm there, you know, thankfully we're not open 7 days, so I can be there at all times. So I've been discussing with, being to the community board meetings. I've spoken to Lieutenant Hyman, I've spoken to Eugene, I've spoken to a lot of these people. I've listened, and then me, Reginald, and the rest of the gang, we really sat down, and I've kind of put down my foot on certain things and how we handle volume control and how we handle crowd control as well. So we really, I mean, they've invested in me. It's not cheap for them. Yeah, I just wanted to add that in light of all the comments about like consistency and seeing something that's different. It has been different because we've changed the course of how we act during late nights. So yeah.
Officer analyzed and what has been responding the last few years.
Okay, committee. What's thought? Is there any? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and just do that. Okay. Okay, so it's I, Reginald Robert Robson, Robson. Qualified representative of Roma LLC at 72 4th Street. The full liquor license will operate in the French restaurant, theater, kitchen open, hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday, 12 p.m. to 4 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, 11. Not outdoor space for commercial use. Will employ a doorman, security personnel. You're saying security guard out. So you're having one security guard outside. And Donald knows this, but security means like SLA, licensed security guard. So you will install soundproofing. And I think in this case, our normal is inaudible and saturation off in an air apartment, but we're going to say, I think specifically because you agreed to it, that you install soundproofing in accordance with the sound engineer's recommendations. Including sign off that it's installed. There were. So you install soundproofing to ensure it's not audible vibrations felt in given apartment. And then will install soundproofing in accordance with the sound here, including. Yeah, that does. Yeah. Yeah, I said. In accordance with the purpose from sound engineering, funds. Okay, so there was the first part of all soundproofing, an audio one combination that I felt in the neighboring apartment. I will close the front doors, front or rear doors and windows at 10 or when I'm playing. I will have, so are having DJs. We're having live meetings. You're not having events. So any of you have, you're self-promoting, you're not including outside. Theater tickets, what are you talking about under, so you're saying or like that kind of thing, or are you going to be hiring outside promoters for promoting your theater? Not about giving space, but you're not having events, even your own events that you're hiring or having an outside promoter to promote those events. You're doing your own promotion. Because the difference is when we get promoters or all this other stuff, and that's not what you're doing. You had more than 2 private parties. Private parties, well, at least for us, we were considered private entire buyout of the entire state. For you rather than. And I think probably just need to put a little bit in here regarding more. So DJ music, entertainment level, And you say something about. Yes, because I was like, I'm trying, because you're ever planning on having DJs where you're gonna really operate as a club. The DJs are in conjunction with your performance. Yeah. So you're never gonna be having, you're never gonna just have a DJ there. We have to move on. Okay. We've spent an hour and a half on this already. So. Motion. So where are we at? We were just, so DJs and music and in conjunction with the actual performances. I think we feel that what they're doing. Outside of, not preventing doing something, it was also letting it, I just wanted to turn into a game. Well, that's it. Yes, we want, we're proving it in the benefit that they're bringing, but if they have to shut down, we don't want someone to come in with the same stipulation and be able to open 100% club. They do, but not a corporate chain. Nope. They have to notify us, we don't have to furnace, and we have to say it at the state. So, just trying some connection there. Not that we, you know, we're hope you're there for 20 years and stuff. Okay, so that encompasses everything. Do you just third party? You will have covered, let's get performance. Okay, and it's not up for so, you know, apply for any operation. Not participate in pub crawl party buffet, no unlimited drink special, you're not in happy hour. You're agreeing to no wait lines outside and staff responsible for ensuring the zero out. Residents may come and number below, those stipulations for site and Reginald Robson and 914-746-5009. Everyone. Is there anything I need to address? We need to say something, actually, that's a good about this early in the conversation. I think upstairs in the restaurant, that be entertainment level live music. So I think we need to specify that DJs, live music will only be in theater space downstairs. A restaurant on the first level will background for music. And the restaurant is operating as a food service restaurant. Food going to roll out hours from. Then kind of, but There will be. And you're not gonna, that you want to be open for the industry. Because that's what we're hearing a lot lately. That's why. You are the industry. But that's what we hear a lot, that's why one place for people who work hard to feel like. Just I only don't take it that, so anyways, okay, I know there was one thing I thought of at the early at the beginning of that, we kind of read everything, that's everything. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go do a vote on these stipulations. You down there? No, there you go. Michael Varg, okay. I'll be sending you out the instructions and all that stuff. Nice to meet you. Yeah, good luck, man. Yes. Okay. Wait up. Geez, with 3 more left, only number 2. I know, we only had 5. I was planning. I was I knew that one would be some discussion. I didn't think it'd be. Okay. Oh, 100%. Okay. Yep. We're moving. Item number 7. Item number 7. 72nd Avenue. The applicants here for number 7, please raise your Zoom hands. I'm assuming the applicants are online. For 7, which is Vine Wine Bar LLC 177. The applicants are here. Please raise your Zoom hand. Not here for 7. Oh, there we go. But this one should be. Yeah. 1. Okay. Okay, so I think just confirming. Or you've been promoted to a panelist once you're in the meeting. Oh,
Hello,
there we go.
my name is Michaela Babikova. Which one did you say? Sorry now.
Sorry, are you the applicant for number 7, 177th Avenue?
No, 172nd Avenue, yes.
So you are the applicant, correct?
I am the partner of the applicant. So Karim Galodi is the applicant. And I am his wife, Michaela Babikova.
Okay.
And we are here to, we are purchasing an existing wine bar that is currently operating as a Vin sur Vin, but we would like to operate under Divan, French wine bar. We intend to continue the operations under the same hours with no changes to capacity, layout, or method of any operation. We fully understand and agree to uphold all current stipulation previously negotiated with the board and committee. And our goal is to maintain the character of the space and be a good neighbor and contribute positively to the community. We also had a petition signed by neighbors who were not really on vacation during the 4th of July. And we didn't really come across any complaints, and we would like to keep the same stipulation, the same hours of operations.
So just for the committee's benefit, they're basically taking over in their building for, I think, 4 years. Longer even.
Jeanette, I think the person who's taking over is also right now.
The manager,
Yeah.
yes. So they're keeping the exact same hours, the same method of operation. I don't think I'll go in a second, but we didn't receive any opposition. We didn't actually receive any support of this. Was pretty one, but the general, they're keeping it. The only wasn't administratively approved is because it's 2 a.m. on weekends. All day during the week, 2 a.m. on weekends. It's on Second Avenue. It's fairly commercial location. Like there's been no complaints. Okay, is there anyone here from the public and that wanted to speak to this item? Great, and okay, seeing none, I think anyone from the committee have any business at all or? Okay, so Michaela, we're gonna go ahead and put the stipulations up on the screen. We're gonna just read through these what we're asking you to sign, what we date for attachment with your life.
Okay, thank you.
So. And it should be, I think. Michaela, should it be you or should be Kareem? Is the representative or of the LLC?
If we can put him, that would be great.
That's fine.
His name K-A-R-I-M. Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect. Actually, his last name is G-A. Perfect.
So it's I, Kareem, and it's, I think.
And
Galazi Ullman, qualified representative of KMG Wine Bar LLC, located at 172nd Avenue. The license would be a beer and wine license. Will operate a wine bar with less than a full service kitchen, but serving food during all hours of operation. Hours of operation are 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. Sundays and Mondays, 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays. It will not use outdoor space for commercial use. Now, I think there was one thing that was checked off. You are still going to continue to use the outdoor space as the existing restaurant. The city outdoor dining.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Are you intending to use the outdoor space for outdoor dining like the existing business has?
We are, but unfortunately we have to reapply for that. So not right now, but it will take a couple of months to reapply.
Okay, but I think we're gonna check off that we're not gonna say you will not use outdoor space because then that means you would need to come back to us. So because you are planning on doing it in a few months, we're gonna say we'll close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurants program by 10 p.m.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And then you understand that is a separate process you have to apply for, but that comes at a later when you do that.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, and then you're not having dormant security. I don't think you need soundproofing. You'll close all facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. or when any amplified sound is playing. You will not have DJs, live music, third-party promoted events, any event which however fee is charged or scheduled performances. You'll play on background for music only. You will not apply for an without coming to CB3. You will not seek a changing class to an on-premise liquor license without any approval from CB3. You will not participate in pub crawls or party buses. You will not have unlimited drink specials. You will have a happy hour end by 7. You will not have wait lines outside. You have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering, noise, or crowds. You'll post a stipulation by your license and residents contact the owner below. And what is Kareem's number?
It's 203-571-9474.
Okay, thank you very much. So-
Can I correct you? His
Yes.
last name, Ullman, it's spelled Ulmann. Perfect.
Okay, thank you, and yeah. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so I think that is everything we're gonna be voting on at the committee, and that will be sent then to the state with your license. So we're gonna move.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Stephen Mallon.
Yes.
Megan Joy.
Yes.
Clint Smelter, yes. Mike Valario.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Michaela. You're the office with the instructions on getting them signed, notarized, and returned to us.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Okay, and we are moving on to item number 8, which is Connie 173 Henry Street. So I think Jared's the applicant. You're here on Zoom for item number 8, 173 Henry Street. Please raise your Zoom hand.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, good evening.
And just checking in because we have a whole kind of new sound system set up. Does it sound okay on your side from the Zoom? Do you hear us okay?
For the majority of the time, yes. There were some times where things cut out. I think maybe somebody may have forgotten to press the microphone on, but for the most part, everything's fine.
Okay, thank you. Just thank you. Wanted to check in since we don't hear what's happening on the other side.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I'm sure it was because I have to remember to keep turning on the mic each time I talk, so that'll just take us some getting used to, but. Okay, so I'm just gonna give a quick little summary of your application, then I'm gonna let you add anything you would like to add or change or correct.
Sure.
So it is. There we go. Tawny Group LLC doing business as Tawny is seeking a beer wine license in premises located at 173 Henry Street. This is an application for establishment of 74 people with 10 tables and 20 seats, a 20-foot bar with 3 seats, food prepared serving crudité during all hours of operation. There are 4 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location was previously unlicensed as an art gallery. The applicant has never previously been a license holder, but has worked in the business for many years and has managed several large-scale events. Our block association did submit a letter in support of the application. 33 residents who live within 2 blocks of location signed a petition in favor. They are proposing hours to operate at the tavern with a food prep area. Hours of operation would be opening no later than 7 a.m. all day, opening by 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, 2 a.m. Friday through Saturday. They will close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurant program and other uses by 10 p.m. Close front rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. They will install sound, ensure sound is not audible by apartments. They'll play ambient background music consisting of recorded music, and we'll have live music consisting of acoustic piano, background level. They will not have DJs, promoted events, scheduled performances, any membership fee is charged. They will not host pub crawls or party buses, will not have unlimited specials, will have a happy hour until 7 p.m. each night. We'll ensure there are no wait lines, and we'll post the stipulations. We'll provide a telephone number for residents with any complaints. Okay, so is there anything you would like to add, change, or even expound a little bit about what I just described?
Sure, yes. I just wanted to make a few more updates, if that's okay, to have scheduled events and private events maxed for 10 a month.
Okay, so we're saying 10 private events per month, and a private event is an entire buyout of the whole space, which I think the space is pretty small, so that wouldn't necessarily take much.
Right.
And what do you, in terms of scheduled performances, what are you envisioning that to be?
Essentially something like a private salon. I'm sorry, not private, just more like a salon where me or I have a lot of friends who are classical pianists and classical performers to have just a salon for people to pass by. It would just be nice to have it scheduled ahead of time so that people can have something to expect, like let's say on a Sunday afternoon, something like that.
So you're saying someone would be there, you for example would be there playing, Sunday afternoon you'd be playing piano of the afternoon. So it's not necessarily a performance, it's starting at 7 and ending at 8:30.
Yes, but it would be nice to be able to have something scheduled, let's say for 2 hours, like on a Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. For instance, I have a friend Melody, who I know would be happy to play on a Sunday. I know she plays at another place on the west side at a piano store, but it would just be nice to be working with musicians and giving them opportunities to perform for the neighborhood. But I wouldn't want to play live music after like 12 a.m. for instance, any day.
And the schedule would still be just acoustic piano.
Yes.
Background level. You're still not planning on any kind of amplified performance or anything
No,
else.
no, it's all acoustic music. Yeah, very small ensemble.
But oh, this it's true. I didn't look that up. That actually may be an issue. It's on your questionnaire. I think. What is the zoning? It's on the questionnaire. I can confirm. I think for you.
I'm sorry.
Because depending on if you're in a residential zone district, you're not permitted to have scheduled performances.
So.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you're
that's
actually
fine.
you're actually not allowed for the zone to have scheduled performances in the residential district.
That's fine.
Okay, but that doesn't prevent you from having your friend that plays piano play Sunday afternoon.
Okay. I just couldn't like
That's-
charge for that. Yeah.
That's the live company. That's the live background music that you can have.
Yes.
Okay, so you said you had a couple corrections. One was was there something else?
Yeah.
You got private events and private events in mind.
Sure. The only other thing was, I think from my understanding, putting open hours means I wouldn't be able to open after 7 a.m. So just to be safe, can we just put 10 a.m. all days?
That's what I was going to ask you. I kind of thought that seemed basically kind of having a wine bar with crudité opening at 7 a.m. a little bit off, maybe.
Oh, well, we'll have coffee service.
Okay, so you are going to have coffee service as like a coffee shop as well.
Yeah, and it'll be the best coffee.
Okay. So good, yeah. So they're actually off. So are you intending then to open at 10 a.m. as a coffee shop?
I'm intending to open at 7 a.m. As an art cafe. I'm not necessarily looking to have people lining up for drinks first thing in the morning. But the wine menu is also very small. So is the beer menu. It's more for tasting. This is more of an art cafe than a coffee and wine bar. But I definitely want to have the coffee service starting as early as possible. I just don't want to be late if somebody's late a few times to open up and it's after 7 a.m. I just don't want those stipulations to be broken and used against us. You know what I mean?
Do you want that to be, you okay with that being 10 or should it be later? Because I'm just envisioning, and I don't live right in that area, but I think that everyone was quiet in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to say 10 o'clock and you're not getting the business and you're forced to open at 10.
Sure. I mean, if it's even better to do 11 a.m. and I'm still allowed to open earlier than that, then I'm totally fine with that.
Yes. So, I mean, we like to have earlier things during the day because it activates the street. So we encourage earlier opening, but I don't want to trap you into not trap. I don't want to
I understand.
be stuck into a situation where you have to open at 10 a.m. or even what time you choose, but you're not getting the business and you're then losing money for those hours. So I just want to give you the flexibility to make sure you're aware of other options.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Oh, so you want to 11 a.m. What?
That's fine.
So, but again, you can open as 7 or whatever time you want to, but you have to be open by 11.
Great. Thank you.
So we're going to change the hours that will be opening no later than 11 a.m. all days and closing by 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
That sounds accurate. Thank you.
Okay. And I think back to, yeah, I think we pretty much went over the stipulations. So they're the only three things we wanted to kind of change, address, correct?
There was nothing else. I just had a statement I would just like to
Okay.
share if I have a minute.
Yeah, okay. Oh, just double check. Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item? If you're here from the public on Zoom and would like to speak, please raise your Zoom hand. Okay, we do have some people. Oh, a lot of people.
Oh, really?
Oh, more people. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna give you the opportunity to speak, but if
Keep it short.
really keep this brief because we've spent a long time tonight. So we're gonna start, I'll call on you and just, as I said, please keep it very brief. If you're just here to stay, they're great operators. We believe you and we actually don't need to do that, so I'm sorry if that sounds hard. I know it's nothing against you, we just, you know, we're not questioning that at this point, so.
Thank you.
Okay. Silas? Well, I bet, Vitalik, were you here for this item? I know your hand was raised for the last item, so.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, to keep it very brief, I'm very excited about Jeremy opening up his store, and it's going to be a great benefit to the people in the community. I spend a lot of time there. This is a very exciting project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to move on to Silas.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, you can. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I live on Henry Street with a family, and think we need more businesses that are open on Henry Street to encourage healthy behavior. This establishment has my full support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Silas. Next, we're moving on to Michelle Campbell.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear Michelle.
Good. I did have a little bit of a, excuse me? You there?
Yep, go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I know it's a long night. I did have a bit of a back and forth. I believe it was with Jeremy, but I don't know, an email that was sent, sort of an outreach, but it was nothing in it. So I did ask for some more of information. And I got a very curt response to that. And I asked for some, what was it going to be? What were the hours? Yada, 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 what was it going to look like? And what I got back, and also this place has never been licensed before. I have a problem with that. And I got back with an email saying, with all due respect, that I live on the Bowery and it's more than half a mile from this proposed location. I do have people who live in the area that are part of the Bowery Block Association. And basically he told me to stay out of his neighborhood. I don't respond well to intimidation, okay? And I think anybody who tries to intimidate somebody when they have a bit of a question about things, and he never gave me his name. He just was DSBA.
So Michelle, I was actually copied on those. That was not the applicant. That was another block association that responded that way. So that was not the applicant.
Yeah, well, I thought that, but they responded for him.
They did, yes, that email did make like they were responding because they didn't identify themselves at the beginning, but that was actually from a different block association, not the applicant.
Times Square, yeah, I know. They're kind of rude.
Yeah.
So it had, shall we say, not a positive effect on my feeling about this applicant. And also the fact that it has not been previously licensed. Aside from that, that's all I have to say about
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.
Next, we have Ava.
Hi, my name is Ava Sullivan. I live in the neighborhood, and I'll make this brief, but I'm in full support of this applicant. The street, the location that it's on is really in need of some positive, vibrant businesses. a lot of the spaces around there are sort of deactivated in some way. And I think that proposals such as these would bring a positive energy to the block. I live about a block and a half away, so full support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ava. Next, we have Robert Hidalgo.
Hello, thank you for your time. I just want to say also in full support of this application. I've known Jeremy for a long time, and I come by to see the progress, and I see that he's working with his father, and I also see that he's stopping the work at a decent time and respecting the neighbors. So I think he's very aware of the community, and yeah, thank you.
Okay, next we have Rudy Van Deel. Vandal, maybe, sorry if I mispronounced that.
No, it's Vandale. Full support of Jeremy. I'm the owner and the director of Life Sport Gym. We're a community program on the Upper West Side. We make athletics available to all families, regardless of their ability to pay. I met Jeremy when he was 14 years old. We have a very unusual program in that the children have such a good time that they invite their parents and their parents don't want to leave. Jeremy has been in our gym since he was 14 years old. He is completely trusted by the children, by the parents. If Jeremy is in the room, something good is going to happen. He is an incredible asset to our program, and he will be a great asset to this community.
Okay, thank you very much, Rudy. I think that is everyone from the public. Okay, so
Thank you.
Any from the committee have any questions? I think that's care of all the public comments.
I think we're on the fair. I concur with some of my neighbors about the need of based on Henry. They open at 7 at 12 feet. That's great. Because the other shops look now better. Great, but otherwise, you know.
So it's a little hard to hear.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, speaking to this one. Look corner, 7 per quart, great. I do earlier about the and poor neighborhood.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna just put up the stipulations quickly, which we go through already. Oh,
And I got it, so I just did it now, so I hope I got it.
this was easy. That was my fault. Actually, I probably have the one I could.
All right, I think I got it.
So Jeremy K, is it Igazarian?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. As a qualified representative, Tawny Group LLC, located at 173 Henry Street. My license will be a wine license. I will operate a tavern. Hours of operation will be Sunday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. No, you're not proposing outdoors, were you?
I was, yes.
Or you are, okay, sorry, that's. Investor discussed that bit. So you will outdoor space under the temporary open restaurant program by 10 p.m. It's not temporary, our stipulations still say that. Needed to say. Will install soundproofing to ensure no noise is audible in the apartment needed. You'll close any doors and windows at 10 p.m. or anytime live music is playing or amplified music is playing. You want to have DJs. Will have live music.
Yes.
You will not have third-party promoted events, any event to cover the charge for sketch performances. You will not have more than 10 private parties per month. And we should just put in there, live music will include acoustic piano. Actually, I think that's all you're proposing, acoustic piano, right?
I mean, it'd be nice to have a harpsichord. It was always a dream, and maybe if it's a small upright bass, small jazz ensemble, just all acoustic, nothing in the speakers.
But so that is changing it slightly. So how often are you proposing to have like a 3-piece set going?
Not often. It's mostly solo.
So it'll essentially, so is it accurate to say live music will include no more than 3 pieces acoustic composed of a keyboard and strings.
If I won't have drums in there for sure, but I just don't want to be too limited if it's like a
Well,
quartet.
I don't want to limit you too much, but I also, are you proposing to have brass? Because we do
No.
have a lot of issues when
No,
people
no,
have
no, no.
trumpets and that kind of stuff.
No, I'm
And
honestly
drums,
not.
drums make it look
No drums and no brass. I'm not super interested in those per se, but it's more about string
So
and the
is it
acoustic.
still accurate to say live music will be no more than 3 pieces acoustic, no drums, brass? That sufficient for you?
I just if I hire a quartet, am I gonna be penalized for that?
Well, okay, so you're gonna be a quartet, are you gonna add 5 or 6 pieces? We just need to know what you actually want to do.
I would like just the opportunity to hire a quartet or a quintet, for instance. I would say no more than 6
So
pieces of
wait,
acoustic.
but here's, we have to just be specific in here. We don't want to leave it open. You've gone from a single to a quartet and you said a quintet. I don't want to be too difficult on this, but
No
just
problem.
tell us what you actually want.
I think yeah, five pieces acoustic max is totally fine. But I'm shooting for solo instruments for most of
It's
the
fine,
event.
you can have less than that, but
Yeah.
5 pieces acoustic with no percussion and no brass.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And you will, it's not on the record background, and all of that is at background level, correct?
That's correct. And yeah.
Like, put the background. No, check background. No, your background music. Uncheck that, but put there, put and it's not only. Checked. And then you will not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3. You will not take a change in class without coming to CB3. You will not participate in party crawls, party buses or party crawl. You will not have an unlimited rig special. You will have a happy hour, or may have happy hour that will end by 7 p.m. You will not have lines. You will have a staff person responsible for no loitering noise or crowds. You'll conspicuously post the stipulation and may contact you with the number below. And that is 908-770-1278.
That's correct.
Okay. We're going to move to a committee vote. Stephen Pilger? Yes. Megan Joy?
Yes.
Lynn Smeltzer, yes. Michael O'Brien?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. The office will be sending out your legal stipulations that will include instructions on getting them back.
Guys, I appreciate it very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night. Okay. The last item. Which is item number 10, 540 East Fifth Street. Correct. You're the applicant for 540 East Fifth Street?
My name is Andrew Lakin. For the past 9 years, I have been the general manager of Tomy, which is 536 East Fifth Street. That is solely owned by Thomas Chen. We've had the beer and wine liquor license there for the past 11 years. The space next door became available at 540. It was formerly a burger spot, only beer and wine license. But we've been a pillar of this community for quite a long time. We're the first restaurant in Alphabet City to ever receive a Michelin star. We have maintained that star for the past 6 years. And to expand in the neighborhood and add more to the neighborhood, we are looking to open a very small, intimate cocktail bar next door with food from Thomas Chen, who is a Michelin star chef.
So
our lawyers should have added me to I think my contact information is on the packet and such. But I am going to be a partner in the business. Mr. Chen could not be here because of death in the family. But he is the primary responsibility.
Okay. So are you connecting it inside physically?
No. There's a hallway barrier. It cannot be connected.
It's a separate.
We don't want to. No. Pardon me? Oh, no. This is a total separate entity. And I'm sorry if that was confusing.
Oh, so you're not using the kitchen and it's a full
This
separate.
is our own separate entity. It's gonna be a very limited menu that we provided. maybe like 7 to 9 items, all done within a very small kitchen that we have upstairs there. There's going to be no interaction or crossing whatsoever between the two businesses, besides for Thomas and myself overseeing the businesses.
And Minka closing, are you gonna,
I mean,
taking that over now?
Well, we've had many issues with them in the past, with them cutting holes in our structure, outdoor structure, because water was pooling up on their side. I know he's been showing the space for like a year now. I saw the signs when they started closing on Wednesdays, but I heard that tonight was like their last.
I think, yeah, I think.
I think people were like, people from the building are texting me that the line was around the corner in the rain. That space is a little more deteriorated than we would like to improve.
That was just more out of curiosity, because I knew they're closing and I thought, well, that.
We couldn't connect that one either. That would be a consideration, but no.
Okay, so I'll just add a few things to, he gave a little brief summary, but they're proposing, it's an establishment, they're actually asking for a full liquor license. They have 8 indoor tables, 24 seats, 1 bar with 5 seats, full kitchen with prep area serving Chinese-inspired small plates during hours of operation. That's the one thing I do want to say. I think you had 1 hour from closing. We do require that food be served during hours of operation. That doesn't mean you seat someone when they walk in at 5 till, but just, it doesn't turn into a bar. Like, you don't stop serving, it turns into a bar for the last hour.
Fine. There will be items offered.
Yeah, so that's just our stipulation is, our standard is.
Easily accepted, thank you.
And then no TVs, music, background music from streaming services. There are 12 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location was previously a burger establishment. The applicant has been a license holder since CP3 since 2018.
We opened in 2014, actually.
14.
The lawyer's supposed to update that. And it's next month will be 11 years.
We received I received nothing, no emails, whether it's supporting for or against. We can double check in a minute if there's anyone here to speak to this. 60 residents who live within 2 blocks signed a petition in favor. They're proposing hours of operation opening no later than 12 p.m. Sunday through Thursday.
Let me ask, can I interrupt? Our lawyer said to keep that open for availability for private events, which we, will be limited to the 2, like that's in the packet. But we don't plan to open at noon every day. We would prefer to open at 4 p.m.
So then what you need to move that back, because if you say you're opening no later than 12 every day.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear that until the last gentleman.
So if you say 12, that means you need to be open at 12. If you say 4, you can, we actually encourage you to open earlier, but you don't have to open until 4.
So if I say 4, we don't have to, we're legally obliged to open at 4 o'clock.
Yes. You can open earlier, and neither us nor the state have an issue with earlier hours.
Got it.
It's just, that's the hour you have to be open by.
Got it. So I would like to move that to 4.
Okay, so it's gonna be 4 o'clock all days.
Correct.
4 o'clock all days, closing at 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 2 a.m.
Correct.
You will not use outdoor space for commercial use. No. You have a closed fixed facade. Now the windows open on it currently, don't they?
Well, they have been fixed shut. We plan to keep it a very intimate, sort of dark bar. They're going to be closed all the time.
Okay. On background record music only. You're not planning on having any live music,
no live music,
or nothing like that. Not apply for any alterations. No pub crawls or party buses. No unlimited drink specials. May have happy hours until 7 p.m. You put, I think, whoever filled out your application put 5 to 7. We don't really care necessarily when it starts. Yeah. We just usually say till.
Yeah, until 4 to 6 would be ideal, but no, nothing past 7.
Okay, so happy hours until 7 p.m. No wait lines, and we'll have a staff person to ensure no loitering. Cannot speak tonight. I'm sorry.
It's been a long one.
No loitering, noise, or crowds outside. We'll post these stipulations and provide a telephone number for resident complaints. And I think that is everything. Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item on Zoom? Nope. Okay. Anyone from the committee have any questions or comments about the side? No, I mean, my only somewhat location and is on a residential side street. I mean, it's not that I'm not necessarily concerned about Europe.
Yes.
how many for them, they, I mean, somehow are memorial.
Even if you put like a time constraint on, like, we're tying this into our currently re-signed 10-year lease, so, we're not going anywhere.
I mean, didn't you close, but I need a comment for the committee, then you click. Anyways, okay, so I don't hear any comments from the committee. We'll go ahead and put the stipulations up. So it is I, Andrew Lakin, as a qualified representative of Opulent 539 Corp. Located at 540 East.
Opulent 539 Corp was the old.
Oh, that was the old, that was
yes.
the.
Where we're creating a new LLC. Our lease on this is infringing on this full license. So we have, it's Tune LLC, which is the operator of 536 East Fifth.
Okay,
But this is TBD.
it's TUOME.
Oh, TUOME.
OME.
The actual LLC is TUN LLC.
Oh, sorry, you were correct.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you said Tuomi. I thought you were referring.
Tune LLC is the.
Gotcha, sorry. And then the license type will be a full liquor.
This is TUN, I'm sorry. No E at the end.
TUN.
TUN.
Yeah, without the E. Got it. There you go. Okay, operate a full liquor, Chinese inspired tapas with kitchen open to serving food during all hours of operation. Hours of operation will be Sunday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. You will not use outdoor space for commercial use. You will you have a doorman or something?
Not an outside doorman. It's gonna be reservation only. It's not gonna be an influx of people on the streets. If it was a stipulation that we needed to, we would.
Well, I mean,
It's only 24 seats.
no, and we don't like generally security
So I
usually
would say
ends
no,
up
so no.
being something different. So and check, yeah, go ahead and check that. And then I know it was are you installing soundproofing or doing anything there?
There's no need. There's no need for the wrong effects.
And then you'll have a closed fixed facade.
Yep.
You'll have DJs, live music, third-party program events, any event which cover fee is charged or scheduled performances, ambient recorded background music only, not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3, not take a change in class without coming to CB3, will not participate in pub crawls or party buses, no unlimited drink specials including boozy brunches. And check the first one. Yeah. Yep. You will have a happy hour and it will end by 7 p.m. You will not have wait lines. You will have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering, noise, or crowds. Will post these stipulations and residents may contact the owner manager at the number below. Andrew Lakin, 914-393-9758. Correct. Okay. Thank you. Move to a vote. Stephen Ballinger. Okay. Megan Joy. Meltzer, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So motion passed. The office will be sending you out the stipulation form we just presented with instructions on signing it, notarizing it, back to the office.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So that is, making sure we skip anyone. Yes, make sure no one is online waiting. Nope. So that being said, we'll move to a vote. Stephen Ballinger.
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Meltzer, yes. Michael Lavario. Yes. Okay. Meeting adjourned.